Hi everyone, welcome to Chef TV. I'm Chef Phil. In today's episode, we're going to talk about a barbecue, Labor Day barbecue. What we're going to do is smoke some baby back ribs with a bourbon barbecue sauce. We're going to make grilled corn on the grill with a cilantro lime compound butter, and we're also going to do some chorizo and goat cheese quesadillas. So what we're going to do first is talk about ribs. What I have here are some baby back ribs, and generally there are there just are two types of ribs that come off the pig. These are the baby backs or loin back ribs, and they come basically right off the spine and are the meatiest portion of the ribs that you can have. The other cut they have is the St. Louis rib. It's a little thinner, a little less meat, very flavorful. It doesn't take as long to cook. So what you want to do is to make sure when you buy your ribs is that on the back there's going to be silver skin. Now I bought these at Costco. The butchers there remove all of the silver skin off of the rib for you. You can have your butcher do it for you. If you buy ribs that have the silver skin on them, all you do is take a butter knife and let me show you real quick what you do. You take your butter knife and just put it right into the silver skin, and then with a paper towel, just so you can get a nice grip on it, just pull it right off and it'll peel right off for you. So, wash my hands real quick. What we want to do with these, we're going to talk about two different cooking techniques. I do a hybrid of both. First one is smoking, the second one is oven cooks. Your smoking technique, which we're going to devote a whole show towards smoking basically anything, ribs, brisket, pork shoulder, chicken. You want to make sure that your smoker's up to temp. And if you're going to smoke something on the smoker completely, you're going to cook it and use that as your cooking method altogether, you want to make sure your temperature is around 225, no more than 275. These ribs on the smoker will probably take 3 to 5 hours, depending upon the thickness of the rib and how hot your smoker is. What I like to do is to mix the smoking technique with the oven technique. The other technique is you can take these ribs and just put them right in the oven after you dry rub them. You're basically looking for a temperature of around 275 to 325 with that method. So what we want to do is to throw some dry rub on here. I have some dry rub here from our website, ChefIAm. This is our rib rub. What we want to do is just be very generous with the seasoning. Not too generous, but enough. You do both sides, like so. This seasoning has salt, paprika, cayenne, cumin, brown sugar, a bunch of different spices that will really enhance the flavor of your pork. Now, I'm going to set this off to the side. What you want to do, I'm just going to throw this in this pan for now. From here, we take this out to your smoker. I like to let the ribs smoke on the smoker for about an hour, hour and a half. It gets a nice smoky flavor to it, and it doesn't dry the rib out at all. So we had a couple ribs in the oven that we started a couple hours ago on the smoker, transferred them to the oven about 2 hours ago, and they're ready to come out. So let's take a look at those. Wash my hands real quick.
Got a question. What kind of smoker do you use?
I have a Royal Oak offset smoker. I got it at Lowe's. It's on sale for $200. It's great. Uses charcoal and wood. I have an electric smoker, a little Tex, which is fantastic. I also have a Cameron's, which is a tiny little smoker. You have to cut the ribs into half sections, do it on the cooktop, and throw it in the oven. And I have my grill that I can use a direct heat to smoke with. So my preference is my offset smoker, the Royal Oak. It's great. You can throw 6-hole racks on it. It uses charcoal and wood. As far as different woods go for smoking, I would go with any kind of wood, oak, maple, a lot of your fruit woods, your apples, and your peaches. Wherever you can get those kind of fruit woods, that'd be fantastic. I stay away from mesquite. I don't care for the flavor that the mesquite imparts into the pork. It's kind of a bittery kind of flavor. But let's pull our ribs out. Now, when we do the oven method, I'm going to raise this rack up because what we're going to do is we're going to sauce these ribs and we're going to set the oven to broil, and we're going to let the barbecue sauce caramelize on the ribs. Let that rip. So, technique, put the little towel away here. The technique, the other technique that I use is it puts the rib after it's been smoked in this steam tray. It's a tray you can pick up at your local catering supply place or your supermarket. And what I've done is I've wrapped it, double wrapped it in saran wrap. And you're saying, no, I'm cooking plastic. But if you look and see how the plastic has actually just puffed up and it's not on any of your ribs. This provides a really, really moist environment for the ribs to cook in. Now, then I cover it with foil. I would double wrap. You take these off. You have to be careful not to burn yourself too. Right. That's beautiful. Now, if you don't want to, or you're worried about it, you don't have to cook with the plastic on. I find, when I was taught to cook in school, plastic, we cooked a lot of things in plastic. Look at me, I'm fine. So,
is there ever like a temperature at which you don't cook with plastic?
Well, I wouldn't put it in the broiler. You can go pretty high with the temps we cooked. I don't know what the exact temperature would be that you shouldn't cook with plastic, but I would say that, we had the oven temp here at 300, and I would think that would be fine. So if you look at the ribs, what you want to look for in your ribs, if you look at, these ribs are perfect. So what you want to do here, you see what's happened is you get the pork that's pulled away from all the ribs. It looks like little jack-o'-lantern teeth. This is what you're looking for in a rib that's perfectly cooked. You don't want the rib, people like saying, fall off the bone. To me, a rib that's cooked that long is overcooked. If you were in competition, you wouldn't even come in last place. You want ribs that have, when you put the knife in it, like this, just runs right through. So what we're going to do, I'm going to put these off to the side and let them rest for a little bit. I have a barbecue sauce that I made earlier. This is a fantastic bourbon. Well, I use whiskey. I use Jack Daniels. And I changed the name on the website because I don't want to put the name Jack Daniels in here, but it's Jack Daniels. And it's the whiskey on a bourbon. Key components, onion, the bourbon, or whiskey, and Jack Daniels in this case, ketchup, a little bit of Dijon mustard, and a lot of apple cider vinegar. A little bit of fish sauce also I put in there just for a little secret kind of kick for the flavor. I let this cook down. This has been cooking for about an hour. So you want to basically just let this sauce cook down. I'm going to finish this right now with a little Jack. So what we'll do, we pour about a quarter cup in there. I still have the heat on here, so I'm going to turn the heat up just a little bit. And we're going to let this cook down just a little bit more. This is delicious sauce. I actually added a little chipotle, puree chipotle to it, so it's not in the recipe that's on our site, but I want a little bit of kick to complement the ribs. So let's move this off to the side for the time being. The oven hasn't come up to temp yet. And we're going to get started on our corn. Now, grilled corn, what I have here is some Jersey corn. Everything in Jersey right now is from South Jersey. We have some grilled corn that we husked earlier, and we took all the silk off. Some people like to grill their corn with the husks on. You peel the husk back and take all the silk off, and then you put the husk back on and you grill it on the grill. And they're going to grill inside tonight. I don't care to leave the husk on. It's not a flavor that I care for. So I'm going to get this little indoor grill tonight for the corn. I'm going to cheat a little bit, because one, it's dark out, and two, we're inside. So one little tip for the corn is when you peel the husks off, just take a slightly damp paper towel and just wipe it on the corn, and it'll pull all the silk right off of it. So what we'll do is let that come up to temp, and I am going to finish our cilantro lime compound butter lime. So what we have is, this is some butter that's been brought up to room temperature. 1 stick of butter and about half of a bunch of chopped cilantro. I put this in a food processor, and I give it a nice little whiz for a little bit. We're going to finish this compound butter with lime zest, lime juice, and some salt. So let's do that, and we're going to put that on our corn while it's hot. It's absolutely delicious. So what I have a microplane, and I have my lime. What you want to do, I don't have to grate directly over what my work is, so all I do is I just run the microplane across the fruit, like so. And it collects, you see, it collects all the pieces right here. Now what you want to do is just take the green parts only. Don't take the white, which is the pith. You never want to take the pith.
You get picked.
Yes, you do.
Because it'll ruin your cooking, right?
Well, it's bitter, so. So, thank you. So we're gonna zest this whole lime, get all of the zest off of it, and we're gonna drop it in the butter. We're gonna cut the lime in half and squeeze 1/2 of the lime in. We're gonna salt it, and we're gonna taste it for seasoning, and if it needs anything else, we'll add that to it. Our pan's getting pretty close to come up to temp, so what we're going to do is just throw our corn on here. I don't use any oil or anything. It doesn't even look like it's stick. What you're going to do with your corn is put it on the grill. Grill it to a medium high or high heat, and you want to basically turn this quarter turns every 2 minutes or so. If you're on the grill, leave the cover down so that it helps cook the corn. 8 to 10 minutes is be perfect. All right, so let's talk about finishing our butter. You know that?
Ooh.
Making popcorn. All right, so if you can see, in my microplane I have all the zest. Just going to take that out, get the rest out with my finger. Put that in the sink.
How can you tell when the corn is done?
You basically just you can touch it with your finger. It's going to be there's a little bit of resistance to it, and you can tell by the color. It's going to turn a little. The color of the corn is going to change a little bit for you. It's going to become a little darker yellow. The beauty of growing the corn is it really enhances the sweetness of the corn, and using this compound butter really complements the flavor of the corn. The lime and the cilantro really pair well with the sweetness of the corn. So let's cut this in half. We'll squeeze the lime juice there. We're going to start off with half the lime, like I said before. We're going to go with a pinch of salt.
These recipes all on the website?
Everything's on the website. Everything is on everything we're making tonight is on our Labor Day barbecue slide. And there are the recipes on there as well. We have peach tart. We also have a Southwestern potato salad and red sangria that are on there. They're all delicious. So just take the butter, lime zest, and lime juice, and mix it up. And you want to taste everything as you go. All right, so the corn, like I said, we're going to make quarter turns at it, so we're starting to get those. Now, I'm obviously just showing you here, I'm giving you a 180 on this. All you want to do is just give a little turn to the right. Same thing with that. Same thing with that one. Just like that. 2 minutes, maybe 3 minutes aside, and 8 to 10, maybe 12 minutes on the cooktop, because we're not covered. When we have the cover on the corn, the convection effect of the grill will help cook the corn as well. So this may take just a little bit longer. Alright, so, as we do everything else, we'll mix this up. I want to taste. And so I say with everything else, you want to taste everything as you go. We'll mix this up well. Use more wine. I'll go just a little bit more, maybe half a wine. In here. Mix that up. And you just want to spread this on your corn once it comes off the grill. Alright. Alright, that's finished. Alright, so what we want to do next, we're going to get our quesadilla started, and then we're going to pop our ribs in the oven. So, what we want to do here is take some chorizo. The quesadillas are goat cheese and chorizo. Quesadillas, they have Monterey Jack and cheddar cheese in them as well. A couple things when you're making quesadillas. You want to have a nice non-stick pan or a grill. You want to have a medium heat with that. I don't like using fish in any of my quesadillas. It doesn't go well with the cheese. Shrimp, maybe, crab, so on. Don't use a ton of cheese. Just a little bit. I have I have cheddar cheese. I have Monterey Jack. I have goat cheese. I'm going to put a little bit of each in there, along with we're going to render down this chorizo. And the other key to make a nice quesadilla is to fold it in half. Don't use two tortillas. You take one tortilla like this, throw your fingers on one side, fold it over. It's a beautiful, beautiful quesadilla. You can flip it very easily, and it's very easy to work with. All right, so let's talk about rendering our chorizo. What you want to do is get your pan on. Let's check our corn. Oh, that smells delicious. Now, try to get some nice color on these. If you're on the grill, you're going to have a little more surface area to work with. This grill pan inside is not optimal, but it'll do for tonight. So what you want to do when you're rendering bacon, rendering chorizo, which we have tonight, I'll kind of skipping around. The chorizo we have tonight is a dry chorizo. It's a Spanish chorizo. There's two types of chorizo. You got Spanish and you have Mexican. The Mexican chorizo comes more like a breakfast sausage. It's loose, doesn't have the casing on it. This is Spanish chorizo is dry. It's got a lot of paprika, a lot of garlic in it. Both are delicious. Both would work here. This is better for the dish.
You just answered Diana Callahan's question. She just asked exactly the same question.
Hey guys. So, what we want to do is make nice little slices. And anytime you render anything, bacon, sausage, hard dry sausage, cold pan, cold sausage, we're going to put a little oil in the pan. And the reason we put oil in the pan is that the oil is not going to release from wherever you're cooking right away, so you don't have to stick. You start with a cold pan because you want everything to come up to temperature all together, and you stand a much better chance of having everything cook evenly and no burning. You don't want to burn. You want to get this nice and crisp and get all that oil out of there, and this will really make a really nice flavorful dish for us. So let's take our chorizo, and with your chef's knife, we're going to make nice little cuts. Just nice thin pieces. And we're going to render these down so they're crisp. It'll take about 5 minutes, maybe. This is a beautiful addition to this dish. If you watched our show last week, you would know your knife skills should be in order by now. Cool. All right, so, like I said, anyway, Cold pan. A little bit of oil, and our chorizo. Put that on the medium heat. And let this go. So, what we want to do, check on our corn again. This corn getting close. Very close. You can smell it. It smells good. So, what we need to do now is make some room. All right, so we're going to take these ribs. Hang on a second. All right, so I'm back. So we have our sheet pan, floor line sheet pan. Our oven is up to temp at 500 degrees. We have our ribs over here. They are looking good. We'll put these on top of the sauce right now. And that needs to go off. You can just see these starting to come up to temp right now. So we got little bubbles on here. This is going to be beautiful. All right, so we took our ribs. Now they're kind of cooling up the handle. And you'll throw them on here. Basically, you take your rib, just like this. These are almost to the point of being overcooked. That's what you're looking for right there. That flexibility, just like that. Anything more than that, and they're overcooked. That corn is happy. It's some happy corn. All right, so we'll get this out of the way. And with my silicone brush, I'm going to ladle some of this into a bowl, so I can work a little more efficiently. I'm going to take my barbecue sauce, and I'm going to coat, and then we'll stir. All right. Oh my God, that smells so good. All right, so you can just take your sauce and pour it right on here. That smells so good. So give it a nice little coating on here. If you want, you can do too. Just flip these over. Should have done this in the first place. Probably should have coated the backside, but we didn't, so we'll do it now. No big deal. A little bit of flavor on the back. If you don't take that silver skin off, it doesn't cook. What happens is you wind up with this chewy little mess on the back of your ribs. And you and your guests will not be happy, I can assure you. Right, so throw a little more sauce on here.
So what's the main mistake that people make with ribs?
They overcook them. They just cook too long. People think, you go to Applebee's, you have ribs, they fall off the bone, they're good. Those ribs suck. I mean, they're horrible. It's to people, these are ribs. Have to have a little bit of pull. You have a little bit, when you take the bone in your mouth and you take the meat and pull away, it should have a tiny bit of resistance to it. It should just fall off the bone. Just wash my hands real quick. Okay. Get these little swirl here. All right, so let's turn this heat down a little bit. When you render fat out of things, duck breast, chorizo, bacon, everybody cooks bacon. Slow and low heat. It's no race. Just take your time and let the fat render out nicely. You get a nice crisp piece of bacon or chorizo at this point that is crisp and not overcooked.
Now for Labor Day, what can you do ahead of time?
Well, I would do, if you were planning a party, oven is ready, so we're going to pop these in real quick and keep an eye on these. It's 8:25. Put this in about 5 minutes. I'm going to put a sauce on those, and that'll be absolutely fantastic. What I would do ahead of time for my party, like I've done, I would grate my cheeses, have everything ready. I would do my butter, which needs to be mixed a little more. I didn't do such a good job mixing that up, did I?
Can you do the chorizo ahead of time?
You can do the chorizo ahead of time. The ribs you can do ahead of time, and you pop them in the oven. You can pop them in the oven just to reheat them, get them up to temp. You can actually sauce them. If you don't want to sauce them and then caramelize the sauce in the oven, you could actually just sauce them, throw them back in the oven, 500 degrees covered for maybe 7, 8, 10 minutes. The other thing you could do You can do desserts ahead of time. Salads have to be fresh. The vinaigrettes you can do ahead of time. You can do as much as you can to make your party as easy as possible for yourself ahead of time. Barbecue sauce can be 2 or 3 days ahead of time. These are coming up.
Got a comment, I need smell-o-vision.
Well, you should be here.
Come down.
These are coming out beautiful. If you see, we're getting nice caramelization on these. And what's happening is all the fat, you see how that fat's turning orange? That's from the paprika. That's in this part of chorizo. But again, we're using Spanish chorizo, not the Mexican. And again, you could use the Mexican if you wanted to. It's a beautiful sausage as well.
What's the difference in the flavor?
This is a little more garlicky and a little more has the paprika in it. And it's got a different texture to it. So we're looking for some texture in the case of the food because even though the shell with that flour tortilla can be a little hard, there's some texture in your food as well. So it really brings a lot to the plate. All right, so we're going to keep an eye on our ribs. They went in 2 minutes ago. You don't want to burn. All right, so the other key ingredient to our quesadilla is this aioli. And aioli is nothing more than mayonnaise mixed with some things. So the things we have in here are chipotles, pureed chipotles, lemon juice, which we're going to add, a little bit of sour cream, and some salt. So you're wondering about chipotle peppers. These are them. These are from Goya, Beauty Shop. These are canned. I put them in a blender with a little bit of water. 2 of these cans goes a long way. I put it in my barbecue sauce tonight. It's in the aioli for the quesadillas. This stuff is great. You can overdo it though, so it'll be a little hot, but with the right things, when it's mixed with fats like it is here, you can use a lot of it, and it really goes a long way. So what we're going to do, we're going to take our little bit of lemon, we're going to squeeze it right into our hands so we don't get any seeds into our aioli. You don't want to get any seeds in your dentures. So,
Your dentures.
I don't wear dentures yet. I might need them soon. Okay. We're going to throw a pinch of salt in here. We like to salt our food. Salt enhances our flavor. All right. This corn is getting ready. I'm a little carried away with this grilling because I was too busy barbecuing. This will be fine nonetheless because we had some the other night on the grill. It was actually the same color. It was delicious. Let's turn the heat down a little bit so we can keep an eye on everything else and not have to worry about burning into our food like I just almost did. All right, so grab a whisk for your aioli. This recipe is on our site as well. It's a chipotle aioli. It's a half cup mayonnaise, 1/4 cup sour cream, 2 or 3 tablespoons of chipotle puree, a tablespoon or 2 of lemon juice and salt. It's a delicious accompaniment to our quesadillas.
What else can you use it on?
Gosh, you can use it on burgers. It's great on burgers. We make burgers with these with caramelized onions and cheese. We use a manchego cheese. It's off the chain. It's a really versatile aioli. And that will keep in your fridge. You can keep it in your fridge for 2 or 3 days. If you're asking about things you can do ahead of time, that's certainly one of them. All right, you know what? You smell the ribs. You smell something. When you cook, you want to use your eyes and your ears. I'm hearing, oh yeah. Now what we'll do, I'm going to throw another layer of sauce on these. Oh my God. These smell incredible. All right. Awesome. All right, our chorizo starting to go smoke out of the pan, which will tell me that we're ready to make some quesadillas. So we'll throw this up here, like that, and we'll take our nonstick, put it here. We're going to go medium-high heat with this for right now. Like I said, the key to making a nice quesadilla is a medium and consistent heat. Those tortillas, the flour tortillas, will crisp up pretty quick. Don't load it up with a ton of cheese. You want, it's nice gooey, but you want a nice, You want a nice, you don't want too much cheese on it. It's going to be too much for your guests to handle. It's not going to taste good. All right, so the corn is almost done. I'm going to take these corn off. Actually, just throw them on my plate. A little crispy, but they're going to taste good. And if you burn something, you just tell your guests it's over caramelized. They won't know the difference. All right, so we're going to heat on for our quesadilla. What I like to use for these, this is sorry, question?
How long are those ribs going to be in the oven for?
Probably about 10 minutes altogether.
Okay.
5 minutes, coat them, another 5 minutes. Let them come out and rest a little bit, and then you're going to slice them. If you take them out too soon and try and slice them, they may just fall apart on you. We don't want that. So what I have here is a 10-inch tortilla, flour tortilla. I buy mine from Wegmans. I don't know if you live near Wegmans or not. The store's fantastic. Their store brand of tortillas is great. All right, so let's make a tortilla. What we have is, and as I said, just fill half of it up. So I'm going to take my cheeses. I would say your best bet would be to buy block cheeses and grate them. The problem with pre-grated cheese in the store is they use chemicals that they put on the cheese to keep it from sticking. So it comes out of the container, it looks beautiful, but it's got these silicate of some sort that they use on there. I wouldn't want to eat it.
And it doesn't grill.
It melts, but I mean, it's beautiful block cheese. We just grate it up and you have all the cheese you want. So we're going to use a little cheddar as well. And we're going to do some goat. The goat cheese is key. This has been sitting out for a little bit. You're going to keep this at room temp or in the refrigerator as long as you can. So, but in TV land, this is what we do. All right. I'm done with that. And now, with the towel real quick, I'm going to take my tongs. Normally you let these cool down. You put them on let them drain on a paper towel, on a plate. Like you would for bacon if you were cooking bacon in the morning for your husband or your boyfriend.
Wait, what?
Or your wife. All right. So here we have our quesadilla. It's ready to go. Our pan cheese is ready to go. So you're going to take your quesadilla, fold it over, give it a nice little, don't be shy, give it a little push, and put it right in the pan. A little push on the pan. We will let this cook for a few moments. I think our ribs are getting pretty close. So let's make some room. Put a ribs on. All right, so let's see how these guys are doing. I can smell them, huh? They smell so good. I don't know if you can get that, if you can see the caramelization. They're bubbling. You see the barbecue sauce is bubbling on there? That's what we're looking for. So, let's just, shut your oven off. All right, so what we'll do, I'm going to put this over here. Let that cool for just a few minutes before we cut. As I said before, if you try to cut them now, you might wind up with a little bit of mess on your cutting board. So, keep an eye on your quesadilla. Use a spatula. Get nice and brown. You want them not too crispy because they're going to crumble when you go to cut your quesadilla. All right, it's almost done. It's going to heat up just a hair here. So what we'll do as we're waiting, I'm going to wash my, there it is. Use this brush. I use a silicone brush a lot when I do a lot of barbecuing. It's impervious to heat, doesn't absorb flavors. You can use it for several different applications. You can use it for my barbecue sauce. I can buy two of them. or 3, and not have to worry about washing it. So, what we'll do here, give the old corn some compound butter. And again, compound butter can be sometimes parsley, lemon. This is one of my favorite compound butters of all time. But you can experiment with different herbs and different lemon. Lime is always good. Well, we get a spatula. There we go. That's just what you're looking for. Then you go. You hear that? Just what you're looking for. Any further than that, it's going to get kind of crumbly on it. So, because we're only doing one, the cheese is already starting to run. Because we're only going to do one quesadilla, I'm just going to shut the heat off and carry over heat. We'll finish cooking our quesadilla for us. And we'll finish our corn. And we'll slice up some ribs and we'll eat. One of my favorite drinks to have with this barbecue is red sangria. There's a wonderful recipe on our site. I would recommend you try it. Secret ingredient, Coca-Cola. Hard to believe, but it's true. This is such a delicious butter to go with your corn. You would never think to put it together, but it is really, really good. You wouldn't want to cook them quite that much. Got kind of carried away here on my TV show. That's what it's all about, right? All right, so let's wash my hands real quick of the butter.
A listener from Sydney saying, looks like a bumble nail.
I need a translation for that.
Good. Very good.
All right, our quesadilla is done. So what we'll do with that, just pan over here, out of the way so we can get our ribs done. You can let this cool down for a few minutes, but I'm not done because I'm hungry. If you want to cut this, you can cut it into quarters or into 6. Me, I'm a quarter kind of guy. That.
Like everyone wants to come to dinner. Right now.
Here, like so. Oh, not such a good job with my knife. Should have watched my own show. So, just lay these on here. If you're going to plate things, try doing 3s. 3s are always, some reason look better on a plate than 2s and 4s. Or you can have 1. Me, I'll probably have 5 or 7. All right. Let's, I'm going to just put this over here so I can work on the cutting board. Get this out of the way for us. Actually, just put this over here. Make a nice little plate for us to show our viewers. All right, so let's cut up some ribs. I need tongs so I don't get burned. All right. These are a work of art. This, oh. Oh boy.
Oh my.
Look, anyone wants to come over, we have plenty of ribs. Just come on.
Everyone's just left the show and they're all on the way over.
All right, so what you'll do, you're just going to cut these right along the bone. You do single, these are still almost too hot to cut. You can see how they're just coming right off the bone. You want to let these rest for just a few minutes. So we'll do doubles, it'll be easier to cut, they won't fall apart. So, now, what we're going to do, I'm going to give you these are the ribs from the side. Now, I don't know if you can see this or not, there's a pink ring right here. That's from the smoke. That's from the smoke from the smoker. That has cooked the meat that far through. And when I pull it off to the smoker for an hour, I don't like the full-on smoke flavor cooked for 3 or 4 hours. Plus, I guess it kind of dries the meat out. So what I would do, I would put this on here now. Sometimes, what I would do with this, get a little crazy, dunk it in the sauce, have that here, and we're going to have some corn to go with our meal. This is our Labor Day barbecue meal. We have smoked ribs with our bourbon barbecue sauce, are, oh, you know, we forgot. We're talking too much. Forgot our aioli. Oh my God. Look at that. So we'll do, you want to just aioli? It's just you can use a squeeze bottle if you want. That's what I prefer. You drizzle it right on top, or you can serve the sauce on the side, and you and your guests can just get the quesadillas ready. So, to recap, we have smoked ribs with a bourbon barbecue sauce. We have chorizo and goat cheese quesadillas with a chipotle aioli. And we have char-grilled corn with cilantro, lime, butter. We hope you enjoyed the show. I'm Chef Phil from Chef TV. Come visit us at ChefIAm.com for the ChefIAm.
Let's eat. Nice job.